Welcome to Biohacking Success. My name is Shweta Shyamani, and I am so excited to share this information with you. For the last 12 years, I've helped clients overcome emotional and physical challenges using holistic healing techniques like energy medicine, hypnotherapy, and other mind-body tools. And what I have learned through those thousands of sessions is that some of the very same techniques that help people get well and feel better can be used for success. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So before we get started, if you haven't already done so, please print out the worksheet that accompanies this course, or just grab a piece of paper and a pen, and also go into your kitchen to get this, a spoon. But it needs to be a stainless steel spoon. And if it is, it'll be stamped stainless on the back. Something that's plastic, silver plated, or sterling silver won't work. Now before we get started, I want to give you a quick overview of what you will learn in this course. First, we're going to talk about the mind-body energy connection and an aspect of mindset that most conversations on the topic completely miss. Then, I'm going to teach you some techniques to increase influence and impact because let's face it, if you want to be successful, people need to listen to you. Then, we're going to create a goal for your business. It could be something brand new or something that you're already working on, but we're going to frame it in a way that helps create success. And then finally, we're going to look at beliefs, specifically limiting beliefs. And we are going to reprogram your mind from a mind-body energy perspective. So we have a ton of stuff to cover. So let's get started. Now, mindset is something that's been talked about in leadership circles for years, right? You've heard about having a success mindset or a winning mindset or a positive mindset. And that's all fine and good. But what exactly is mindset? Well, mindset is our attitudes, our beliefs, our experiences, and our stories. It's the way that we look at the world and the way that we think of things. But the mind is not something that's physical. The mind is, in fact, non-physical. Very much like your computer has hardware, the computer itself, the physical instrument, and then the software, the programs that are run on the computer. Your mind has programs that are run by the brain, which is the hardware. So the mind is likened to a computer software program or programs. And a lot of those programs were created prior to age 7. So they were created before you even had the ability and the discernment to say, yeah, you know what, that works for me, or nah, that really doesn't work for me, and I'm going to choose to believe something else. A lot of our beliefs are implanted in our minds from family, from society, and they're not something that we had any choice over. We simply accepted them without question. But that can hurt us now as adults, especially when we want to create change in our life, because there's some distinctions in the mind that we want to consider. First, the mind is comprised of conscious and subconscious. Of the 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day that we have, 90 to 98% of them are subconscious. And that's extraordinary. And it's really important when it comes to success and goal setting because the conscious mind is what determines a goal and the subconscious mind is what decides if you're going to be able to achieve it or not. So in order to achieve our goals, we need to engage and make sure that the subconscious is on board. But this can become a problem because the subconscious has a mantra, and that mantra is sameness equals safety. The subconscious mind is hardwired to resist change, yet the conscious mind wants to create new things and grow and expand. So what do? We use the one thing that most mindset models don't even talk about, and that is the body. The body is our gateway to the subconscious. The subconscious regulates and controls our functions in our body. The subconscious is extraordinarily powerful. In fact, the processing power of the subconscious mind is 40 million bits of information per second, whereas the processing power of the conscious mind is anywhere from 11 to 40 bits of information per second. So the subconscious mind is millions of times more powerful than the conscious mind. So another distinction to understand between conscious and subconscious mind is that the language of the conscious mind is words and thoughts. The language of the subconscious mind is emotion and feeling. And this is because the subconscious mind is so closely connected to the body. So I want you to do an exercise with me now. Go ahead and close your eyes and imagine yourself at your kitchen counter. And in front of you is a cutting board, a knife, and a ripe, juicy lemon. And I want you to imagine picking up that lemon in your hand and just seeing the bright, beautiful yellow color of the lemon and putting it on the cutting board, taking the knife and slicing the lemon in half. And as you cut it in half, the juices run out onto the cutting board and you smell that beautiful citrus aroma in your nose. Then take the knife and cut a wedge off of that lemon. And take that wedge, bring it up to your mouth, and bite down onto that lemon, feeling those juices flowing into your mouth and tongue and tasting that tart, lemony flavor in your mouth. Now open your eyes. What happened when you did that visualization? Did your mouth produce some saliva? It probably did, because you were imagining a vivid scene in your mind, but your brain didn't know the difference between something that was being vividly imagined or something that was real time. And so it sent the same signals to your mouth of salivating that it would have if you were actually eating a wedge of lemon. And that's an important rule of the mind. The mind doesn't know the difference between something that's being very vividly imagined or something that's being experienced in real time. And things like PTSD are a demonstration of that mind-body connection. So we understand that the body is a gateway to the subconscious mind. And we also understand that the subconscious mind resists change. So how is it that we can get the subconscious mind on board to what it is that we want to create in our lives? Well, you can use points on your body. Points on your body that send the signal to the subconscious mind that what it is that you're wanting to create and what it is that you're wanting to do that's outside of your comfort zone is safe and that it's desirable. Because once you get the subconscious on board, it's like rocket fuel to your goal. And that's what you're going to learn in the next segments. Are you guys ready to learn how to create influence and impact? Great, because I am. Now, are you noticing something right now? Does my energy feel different to you? Do I sound different? Do you want to trust me more now, or did it feel better in the first segment? Because I've changed something and I want to show you what the impact of changing our energy is. Right now, my energy is completely in my head and I am pushing toward you. I want you to listen to me. I want you to believe me. I want you to connect with me. But is it working? Probably not. So I'm going to change my energy now. And I'm going to come more within myself. And there's a difference. Not only does the tenor and the speed and pace of my voice change, but hopefully you feel more connected with me now. Hopefully you're drawn more in to what it is that I'm saying. And also I feel more credible and believable. That's what happens when you change your energy. In the first segment, or the first part of this segment, I was in my head and I really wanted you to like me. I really was pushing in toward you and your energy. And you might have even felt that, like, what's she doing? But people feel more comfortable when we give them their own energetic space. We have an energetic container that surrounds our body, much like the atmosphere surrounds the earth, and that is the bioenergetic field, or the aura. And we want to give people space to be in their own energetic field rather than pushing into and leaning too much into their personal space. And that can happen even on a video, as you just experienced. It's not something that's only when we're in person. So what are some things that you can do to change your energy? Well, the first thing, and that's what I shifted as soon as I went from my head space back into my body, is to ground. So before you're going to have a Zoom call, before you're going to have a meeting, a sales call, whatever it is, an interaction with somebody, you want to be grounded, because people who are grounded are more trustworthy, they're more credible, they're more believable. So you want to be really grounded, and that's where you're going to bring in your spoon. Now, I'm going to spare you from showing you my foot and pulling my foot up onto the camera, but imagine that this is my foot. And on the bottom of our feet, we have lots of different energy points. And we want those points to be open because the points on the feet pull energy up from the earth. They ground us because we're land mammals, right? And we need to be in contact with the earth. But we're usually not because we're wearing shoes. We're not barefoot on the ground very often. But this technique allows you to open up those points and to ground your energy. So this is your foot. This is the spoon. Take the back of the spoon and make figure eights on the bottom of the foot. You can also scrape the side of the spoon on your foot because that also opens up the points and it kind of feels good. But do whatever you want to do. You just really want to just make contact between the steel, the stainless steel, and the points on the bottom of the foot. And then you do it on the other side. So you do this for 10, 20 seconds. It doesn't really take super long, but just open up those points, okay? And that's going to ground your energy. Now, I changed my energy in the earlier part of this video without using the spoon. And that's because I just did it in my mind. I did a visualization in my mind to ground. Now remember earlier you learned that the mind doesn't know the difference between something that's being vividly imagined or something that's happening real time. You're going to use a visualization. And the visualization that you're going to use is going to send energy down into the earth. So simply imagine yourself sitting on a tree stump or having roots going from the bottoms of your feet and the base of your spine down through the floor, through all of the layers of the earth, moving through the lava, the water, the sand, the rock, all of those layers, and finally anchoring into the crystalline center of the earth. Imagine those roots just totally penetrating into the center of the earth and rooting into the earth. And that energetic channel is your grounding cord. And energy can be released down the grounding cord, heavy, dense, unwanted energy, and then energy can be received through the grounding cord. And so imagine pulling that energy up from the earth into the bottoms of your feet, up your legs, into your torso, up into your chest, up through your neck, into your face and head, and then out, just showering out through the top of your body, just like you have a whale spout on the top of your head. And you're running energy. Now, this is happening even without your conscious awareness, but when you bring your consciousness to the energy flow, it increases. And you can manipulate and direct the energy flow with your mind, because our thoughts are simply packets of mental energy, and our thoughts influence our nervous system. So when you're working with energy, you're impacting your nervous system. And there's a lot of research that demonstrates that grounding heals our body. It decreases inflammation, it improves our respiration and oxygenization rates, it settles down our blood pressure. There are so many physical and neurological benefits to grounding. So as you're doing this is not just something that's going to help you connect with people and have more influence and impact. It's something that's also going to be helping your physical and emotional well-being. So that's exercise 1. Ground your energy. You learned the 2 different techniques. Now, the other energy exercise is one to make sure that your energy is running in a forward direction. We have different pathways through our body called meridians. And if you're familiar with acupuncture, you may know what meridians are. They're the pathways that you put needles. So those meridian flows are like rivers. They go in a particular direction, and you want your meridians to flow forward. When they flow backward, we can become tired, we can become flaky, we can start to forget information, right? There are all sorts of different things that happen when our meridians start to flow backwards. And when they flow backwards, sometimes that's our body just communicating to us like, hey, it's time to slow down and rest. But if you're going to go into a Zoom call or a meeting and you want to be on your game, make sure your meridians are flowing forward. And to do that, you're going to go to the inner corner of your collarbone right here, and then you're going to drop down. Now, most people have an indentation here, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. You can just kind of estimate about an inch roughly down from the inner corner of your clavicle, and then you're going to massage. you can massage, you can tap, or you can just hold the points. And what this is going to do is it's going to ensure that the flow of all of your meridians, you've got 14 of them, that all of them are flowing forward and in a forward direction. This is really good to also send energy up into your head and your brain when you're feeling tired. So this is sort of like our own inner Red Bull. You can massage these points, like if you're driving and you're starting to feel sleepy or tired, you can massage these points with just one hand, and that temporarily gives you some extra energy and extra juice. So that's the second exercise. Now, another thing for connecting with people and thinking clearly and communicating effectively is that we want to make sure that both hemispheres of our brain are communicating with each other. The right hemisphere of the brain, as you may know, is responsible for nonlinear creative thinking, whereas the left hemisphere of the brain is all about logic, reason, and linear thinking. We want both of those to be operating at the same time and in a balanced way so that you can have access to all of those different resources when you're presenting or communicating with people. And so one way to do that is to put your fingers here on the third eye, and then you're going to make a figure 8 around your eyes. And you want to use gentle pressure here. Don't press hard. You don't need to. Just a very light touch. And you're slowly going to go one side to the other. And then you're going to do that about 5 times, and then you're going to reverse the direction. And so you go opposite. And so you do that for about 5 times. And then you're going to change hands. And doing so allows us to engage both sides of our body and both hemispheres of our brain. And we have a structure in the center of our brain called the corpus callosum. And what this exercise is doing is facilitating energy flow through that structure, and that's harmonizing your brain. So you're bringing your full brain to your interaction. And then we have one last exercise called the Wayne Cook posture. Now I'm going to teach you a modified version of the Wayne Cook, but again, this exercise helps facilitate the cross communication between the left and right hemispheres of our body and the left and right sides of the brain. And this exercise has been known to help people overcome stuttering and dyslexia because it unscrambles the signals that our brain is receiving and sending. So it's a great way to unscramble our energy and give us clarity of thought. So what you're going to do for this exercise is you're sitting, then you can just cross your right ankle over your left ankle, and you're going to cross your right arm over your left arm. I'm going to just push myself back a little bit like that. And then you're going to clasp your hands and then fold your arms in to under your chin. Just like that. And then breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you're going to do this for about 5 to 7 breaths. And then you're going to uncoil this and also your feet. And then you're going to cross your left ankle over your right, your left arm over your right, and you're going to do this again. So again, you always want to do both sides. You want to do it bilaterally so everything is all balanced. And you're going to breathe like this, 5 to 7 long breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's really, really relaxing. It feels fantastic. Then you're going to uncoil, and then you're going to steeple your fingers together. And then you're going to put your thumbs right here on your third eye. Now this looks kind of funny, but you have meridian endpoints all right here in your fingertips. And so what you're doing is you're connecting up all of those meridian endpoints so that all of that energy is flowing beautifully across. And then you just breathe. Again, 5 to 7 breaths here and release. And your energies are unscrambled. So use these exercises before you're going to go on stage, before you're going to have a client meeting, before you lead a meeting, before a Zoom call, or even before you're going to have a conversation with somebody in your family that's important and that you want to make sure that your communication is received clearly and effectively. It is so important for us to have our energies running forward, have our energies grounding when we present and when we connect with other people, because it simply enhances the quality of the communication as well as your credibility and believability. Okay, now it's time to start looking at your goal. So grab the worksheet or a piece of paper, and at the top of the page, write down your bold, audacious business goal for this year and make it big. Make it something that you have doubt about creating. We want to activate some of those subconscious limiting beliefs and programs. So it's important for you to make it something that's so outside of your comfort zone that some of that self-talk and some of the negative thinking can start to rise to the surface, because we want to work with it. So feel free to pause the video and write down your big, audacious goal. And if you can include some quantifiable metrics, that's even better, because then as you're making progress towards your goal, you know where you stand. So you can use revenue numbers, sales numbers, the number of blog posts that you do, the number of sessions that you book. It doesn't matter what the metrics are. The more, the better, because that simply gives us a way to track progress. So feel free to stop the video for a moment and go ahead and capture your big, bold goal. All right, fantastic. Now, I hope that you're feeling a little intimidated by the goal that you set, because that's the point. We want to engage that subconscious mind. Now, before we get to the next section, I want to just talk about a metaphor that the Buddha offered for the mind that I think is so relevant and so perfect for the work that we're doing right now. And that is the metaphor of an elephant and a rider. Now, imagine a woman sitting on top of an elephant, riding an elephant. And the elephant is happy to go where the woman wants to take it, as long as the elephant feels safe and wants to go along for the ride. But if the elephant becomes scared, and if the elephant has a different idea and feels like doing something else, who is going to win in that battle? A 150-pound rider sitting on top of a 2-ton elephant, or the elephant? Of course it's going to be the elephant. And that is the metaphor for the rider being the conscious mind and the elephant being the subconscious mind. Remember the rule of the mind. In a battle between logic and emotion, emotion always wins. And that is the elephant. The elephant will ultimately always, always win. So how do we lure the elephant to go to where we want to go? How do we lure and attract the subconscious mind to help us achieve our goal? It's through our emotions. We want to engage your emotions and make your goal emotionally based, not just logic, because logic doesn't go that far for the elephant. We want to entice the elephant through emotion and feeling good. So I want you to write down on the worksheet or on your paper, how will I feel when I achieve this goal? And you get to use your imagination, because this is probably a goal that you haven't achieved before. So you get to imagine, well, I imagine I'm going to feel happy. I imagine I'm going to feel excited. I imagine I'm going to feel really satisfied. Imagine I'm going to feel a deep sense of accomplishment. I imagine. So figure out or imagine what it is that you are going to feel when you achieve this goal. And these should be emotional words. And again, these are just words. They're not emotions yet. You're going to get it to the emotion, evoking the emotion in your body, because that's what's going to activate the subconscious mind. We're still at the level of the conscious mind. We haven't engaged the subconscious yet, but we're setting a roadmap to be able to engage your subconscious. So pause the video and capture. What emotions will I feel? How will it feel to achieve this goal? And get as vivid as you can in terms of how you believe that it's going to feel for you. So pause the video and jot that down. Fantastic. So now that you've captured what you feel are going to be the emotions that you'll enjoy when you achieve your goal, you're going to do the last piece, and that is writing a new story. You're going to script what it feels like to have achieved the goal. So in your imagination, this is the story that's going to play out. And we want to start engaging the subconscious mind here. And the gateway to the subconscious is through our senses. The subconscious interprets all of the information that comes through our sensory perception. So the things that we smell, the things that we hear, the things that we taste and see and touch. Those are the ways that the subconscious mind receives its cues, not just the words that we're hearing. So as you're writing your story of what the fulfillment of your goal is going to feel like, include sensory information. Include phrases and things that you're going to be saying to people as you share with your loved ones that you've achieved this goal, or as you share with your employees or your clients that something has been achieved. What is it that they're going to say to you? Engage the sense of hearing. What are people going to be saying to you? What are people going to be posting to you on LinkedIn or on social media, congratulating you on achieving this beautiful goal? What is it going to feel like? You got that already in the first segment of this exercise. But what is it going to taste like? Maybe there's a celebration. Maybe you feel like you're going to have champagne or cake or some other wonderful dinner to celebrate this achievement. What are you going to see? What are you going to see? Are you going to open up your online banking account and you're going to see certain numbers there? What are you going to see? Testimonials from people in your inbox? Are you going to see orders filling up your inbox? Think carefully about the different senses and what is it that you're going to see, hear, feel, taste, and touch as a result of you achieving this goal. And the more vivid you can get, the better. And do the best that you can. I understand there might not be a taste component to each and every goal achievement, but whatever you can fill in, however vivid and broadly you can create a story around your goal, the better, because that's all of those emotional cues and all of the sensory information is going to engage your subconscious mind. And it's going to start building a case into the subconscious mind and in your body for creating that goal. So we're kind of backing into your goal by engaging the body and engaging your subconscious, because that's the way that it's going to support your conscious desire, right? Otherwise, what happens is self-sabotage, distraction, procrastination. I don't know about you, but I've done all of those things and still continue to, quite frankly, because it's important to make this a practice, and it's an ongoing practice. Now, the reason that we're doing this and engaging our body is because if we don't, then the subconscious will eventually take over. When it starts to feel uncomfortable or scared, it'll create distraction, procrastination, not following up, all sorts of different tools to derail our effort and our progress forward and our progress outside of our comfort zone. But the beautiful thing about moving outside of the comfort zone is as soon as you do it, your comfort zone expands. It becomes bigger. And then that thing that felt so uncomfortable, so scary is now like, hey, I did it. I can do it again, and I can do more. And so it helps to perpetuate and to propel greater growth. So take a moment to pause the video and fill in your story. As many sensory perceptions as you can. What's it going to feel like? What are people going to say? How am I going to feel? What am I going to do? All of that stuff, create a brand new story for yourself. So now you have this amazing story and this visualization of what it feels like when you achieve this goal. And along with all of the positive feeling, you might also have some doubt, some concern or some worry of like, how the heck am I going to do this? And that's perfect, because we're going to dissolve and transform it in this section. So you're going to grab the second worksheet now, the one that says my bold goal at the top, and then the column with why I can and my body feels, and then why I can't and my body feels. If you're not using the worksheet and just using a blank piece of paper, you can create those sections on your page. So at the top, write what your goal is, just a synopsis of it. You've got the story and you've got the fleshed out version on the other sheet, but here you're just going to say, this is what my bold goal is. And as you write that, I want you to now start filling in the why I can. What are all of the positive beliefs? What are all of the things that you think will support successfully achieving that goal? Write down all of the reasons why you think you can. And because every thought that you think causes a physical reaction and an emotional response in your body, it's another rule of the mind, you're going to track what's happening in your body as you're thinking of all of these positive things, all of these reasons why you feel that you can. And now I want to just put a little note here that it might not be so easy to feel the sensations in our body, because the sensations are very subtle, and many of us have disconnected from our bodies quite a bit, and we're always thinking and churning things in our heads. And so really tracking what the body sensation is while you're thinking certain thoughts can be a little tricky, and it can take some practice. So if you're not feeling anything, that is totally okay, but capture whatever you can. You might feel a lightness, a heaviness, a tingling, a buzzing, a pressure, whatever it is, a throbbing. There can be all sorts of different sensations going on in the body. And if they just are confined to the head, that's okay. You can say, it feels like I'm in my head. That's totally fine. But I assure you that there are sensations happening in your body with the thoughts that you're having. And we want to be able to track that, because as soon as you can track the body sensations, you can start backing into what's going on subconsciously. And that is just so, so important. I can't underscore in this course enough how important it is for you to get a hold or get an understanding of what's happening subconsciously, because it is driving your results. It is driving everything in your life. And if there is something that you want in your life that you're not getting, there is one reason and one reason alone. It's subconscious. And so we want to understand and unpack what's going on in the subconscious and imprint new positive beliefs and ways of thinking into the subconscious that line up with where you want to go. So pause the video and write down all of the reasons that you think and know that you can achieve this goal. And even if it's just one thing right now, write down that one thing and then notice the sensations in your body and track it and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. How intense is that sensation in your body? 1 being barely perceptible and 10 being, oh my God, all through the roof, right? It's huge. I can really feel it powerfully. So pause the video, write down why you can and my body feels, and rate it, and then we'll come back for the next. Okay, great. You must be feeling good right now because you've thought of all the reasons why you can create this amazing goal for your business. Now you're going to do the opposite. You're going to start exposing some of the limiting beliefs. And if I'm honest, my list of why I can't is usually longer in the beginning than why I can. I remember doing this the first time, and my why I can was 1, and I had 11 things on why I can't. So we are all negatively biased, and so it might be easier for you to come up with all the reasons why you can't create this goal, which is just fine, because you're going to start transforming that shortly. So go ahead and, like we did in the first section, you're now going to write why I can't, track the body sensations, and rate the body sensations in their intensity from 1 to 10, and pause the video, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so now you've got the worksheet completed. You've tracked why you can, why you can't, and the body sensations that accompany both. And I just want you to pause and notice if you can connect those body sensations that you feel why you can't to sensations that you often feel. Because oftentimes we have these negative thought patterns and these negative stories running in our mind, and they're present in our body as well. And when you start to reverse engineer it and you recognize, like, well, gosh, I feel that pressure all the time in my stomach. I feel that pit in my stomach a lot. And it's because I'm thinking these negative thoughts. You might not have made that connection before. So it's really cool to be able to start connecting the dots and understanding how your mind and body are always communicating with you. If you can just pause to listen and lean in and feel and really start to learn how they're speaking. So now we're going to get started deleting all of the unwanted stuff and installing all of the good stuff. So this is like a software, deleting and installing new software. You're going to upgrade your subconscious and your nervous system and your body to align with the goal that you're wanting to create. So fold that sheet in half with the why I can and can't. You're going to fold that in half like this. So you're just looking at one side of the list. And you're going to start with why I can't. we're going to get rid of all the yucky stuff first, and then we're going to put in all the good stuff. So it's like you're taking the weeds out of the garden, and then you're going to plant the seeds. And so you're going to have the why I can't, and just put it down in front of you on the table or desk, and then make the okay sign with your fingers. So thumb over the nail of the first finger, and then put your pinkies here on your eyebrows, on the inner corner of your eyebrows. And then everything else will just fall where it needs to go. So the little loop will go here on your temples, and the rest of your fingers will be here on your forehead. And hold gently. Do not press. You, in fact, want to have a very light touch as you're doing this. These points that your hands are on are called neurovascular reflex points. And they're energy points that are going to let you access the nervous system and subconscious mind through indirect means. So this is the biohack. So as you're looking at your list of why you can't, you're going to hold these points and you're going to read aloud the reasons why you can't. You're going to just read it out loud. And you're reading it out loud because you're engaging the body in this exercise. So you're going to read out loud why you can't. Now you can choose the first reason why you can't and just repeat that over and over until you feel a change. Or you can just read down your whole list and keep reading down the list until you start feeling a change. So what are the changes that you're going to feel? Well, firstly, the body sensations that accompanied the negative thoughts are going to start to diminish. So if that's why you rated them. So if you were feeling a level, like let's say pressure in your chest at a level 4, you might notice that it drops to a level 2. Or it might go away completely. Another change that you might observe is as you're reading the list, it becomes less and less believable. Like, I don't know if this really makes sense or it applies to me as much anymore. You might feel the grip that these negative thoughts have on you softening, which is really cool. And another thing that you might observe is that you start feeling little pulses right here on the bottom below your fingertips. And if you start feeling that, you can be done. Even if you're not feeling a change in the grip that those thoughts have on you or the body sensations, if you start feeling pulses, you're done with that session. You've transformed your nervous system and the associations that the subconscious mind has with those beliefs for the time being. Trust me, over time, all of this stuff is going to diminish. Soon you will get to a point, and in very short order, in fact, because you're working directly with the nervous system, you're going to get to a point where the things on your why I can't list are like, don't even land on you. It doesn't even make sense to you that you could think that, because your thoughts will change that quickly. So it's really incredible when you start noticing the different feelings and sensations and the shifts in your physical body, as well as just like, okay, that doesn't even make sense to me anymore. It's so powerful because now you know that you have influence over the way that your mind thinks. And you totally do. Most of us have just been allowing the default setting of our mind to run the show and trying to overpower it with willpower and positive affirmations. But as we know, that doesn't work because eventually emotion always trumps logic. So now that you've gotten that negative stuff off, or you've softened it, we're going to go to the positive. We're going to install all of the good stuff and the reason why you think you can. And we're going to embed that and increase and amplify that in your nervous system and in your mind. So for this, you're going to do a 3-finger notch. So it's the first 2 fingers and the thumb. You're going to just bunch them together in a 3-finger notch. You're going to come to the neurovascular points that go to your ear and then just an inch up. So that's where the neurovascular points are. And you're going to review out loud, reading aloud, the reasons why you can. And again, you're going to just repeat over and over until you feel a shift. You might feel lighter. You might yawn. That's always an indication of energy moving. A yawn can be a biofeedback of energy moving. You might feel a temperature change. Everybody's body is just so different and so unique. But again, realize that these sensations may be very subtle. But again, if you start feeling pulses underneath the 3-finger notch, you're done for that session. And you're going to repeat this. You're going to do this over time, and you're going to find that you might even start coming up with new reasons why you think you can achieve this goal, because your self-concept, the way that you think about yourself, is going to start to change. You're going to start thinking yourself in more positive terms, and the negative thinking and the inner critic is going to start to quiet over time. And this doesn't take very long, but it just takes practice. And as you do this over time, you're going to be lining yourself up more and more and more with the positive. And as you do that, you're going to start taking more actions naturally, because the elephant feels excited about the goal and wants to take you to achievement of that goal. So this is really powerful. This is working on the level of your nervous system. It's working on the level of your deep core beliefs. So please do this practice. It only works if you do the practice. You can certainly work with a practitioner, but these are really positive, do-it-yourself ways to start transforming your beliefs at a very deep and profound level. It absolutely works. I've done this with myself, and I've done this with hundreds of clients over the years. This absolutely works. So please feel free to reach out to me in the forum, ask your questions, do these practices, give me your feedback. Let me know how it's going for you. I want to support you in seeing you get your goals and achieve everything that you absolutely desire. Thank you so much for your time and joining me for this course. Connect with me in the Founding Moms Forum, and I can't wait to hear about all of your successes.